Hi everybody, this is Jim Tolles, and today I wanted to talk about the spiritual awakening process. It's the name of my website, and I like to be really clear about what this means, because I don't want to be giving you the impression that awakening is a process. It's not. Awakening happens. It happens in a moment. Whatever moment that is for you, if that's something that's going to happen in this lifetime, it happens, just like that. And then when that switch goes, you see the world differently. And when you see the world differently, the process becomes, how do I live from this space of knowing? How do I live from the space of love, this space of integrity? And how do I do this every moment? And the more we practice it, the easier it becomes. It's not because this has to be a practice. Everybody's very different. I don't like to give you the sense that this is going to be a long drawn out process to embody awakening, because that's what I'm really talking about here. Spiritual awakening process is the process of embodying that awareness, of bringing it forward into your regular everyday life. And it can be very quick. For some people, the awakening is so profound, everything just shatters and they see the truth, and this is how they live for the rest of their life. And this is always possible. And it's also possible that you have a very different path where the awakening hits everything and you get stuck. Or it just takes you 20 years to figure it out, or whatever, right? Because everybody is different and everybody's awakening in their unique way. And I think this is really, really important. This isn't a one size fits all. This is completely unique to you. If you've had a major awakening, well, I shouldn't say major because it's just an awakening. It is. It doesn't rate itself. There are bigger or smaller openings that people have, and sometimes they confuse a big spiritual opening as an awakening. But an opening, the way I term it, is always being driven by those outside forces, right? Something happened in your life, and so you responded, and it's evoking something. Where the awakening really comes of its own self. In my ebook, I call it Everyday Spirituality: Cultivating an Awakening. And I say cultivating specifically, not making an awakening happen, because we make space for it. Right? We're making space for this awakening to grow naturally. Now, for many people, you haven't made space for it. It happened anyway, and you're trying to figure out the pieces. It's like, well, what do I do with all this stuff? And what does it all really mean? Because the old ego is still running around in there, right? That's the part that's asking these questions. And so a lot of the process really is, how do I take this old set of programs, of way of living in this world, of interacting in this world, and rewrite the code so that I can live from this deeper natural space. And as I said, it doesn't have to be hard. I don't want to get into this idea that it's going to take a long time and how you work through different things. I mean, for me personally, it's taken several years to really process through, to rewrite stuff. And this is going to be a continued process too, because life goes through these ebbs and flows of work, of effortlessness, just kind of in and out throughout your whole life. And so that also becomes the natural process of living, right? Because there are difficult times and there are easy times, and that's just the way things flow for all of us. And it's important to remember that. It's important to remember that there isn't some ultimate embodied state that we're all trying to get to. It's whatever is going to be the right state of awareness for you, the right way for you to embody, to integrate, to process your awakening, and really to process who you really are. And so, as you can probably notice, I've just used three words that are pretty much synonymous for me. I know it may be different for other people, but integrating spiritual awakening, the spiritual awakening process, and embodied spiritual awakening, to me, it's all kind of the same thing. Is how do you live, act, feel, think from this space of awareness? And ultimately, the more you work into it, it's really not that hard. I mean, that kind of blows the whole ego thing away. It's like, wow, I was doing all these techniques and I was cleaning energy and doing all this meditation and stuff, and then when I really started to let go, it was just me. It's just me. It's so effortless. I'm so relaxed. It's not naive. It's not passive. You'll still do things. Right? This is that dissolution of the frenetic energy of the ego mind that thinks it needs to be doing all these different other things and managing these other things or having other people do things for it, and just all over the place, very scattered. And as those dissolve with this awareness that you already have, that too is part of the process. I mean, much of the spiritual awakening process that I'm talking about here is a dissolution of illusion. It just dissolves, starts to melt. And where there is pain and difficulty, it's usually where we're holding back on something, and sometimes even unconsciously. There are lots of things that we do not know about ourselves. That's part of some of the great revelations that come with awakenings, because you turn on the light in the room and now you can see everything, and you start to see what you've been carrying, and that can be really shocking. And this is probably one of the bigger points that people get stuck at. It's initially seeing all the garbage that they've created in their lives. People get scared and they lock down. And when you lock down, you can't allow this energy that's you to start doing its natural rhythm of healing and clearing out that space. Because our energy and our bodies are very smart. All levels of our energy, the physical body, the emotional body, the energetic body, the intellectual body, it naturally wants to clear all this stuff out. It takes tons of energy to hate, to be scared, to do all these things, because you have to focus on it. And that's really what the ego mind does well. And when we retrain it, it can be a powerful, powerful agent when we can focus our intentions on things that help others and things that feel true to us. It's amazing. We can move mountains. But most of the time, we're focused on everything that scares us. And so that's where all of our energy is going. And we're just equally locked in being kind of stuck. So we see these issues and we're scared of them, or we're angry about them, and we don't know how to work them out. And so we use a lot of unconscious tools and things like that, unconscious stuff like overeating and working constantly, and drugs and alcohol and sex and all these different things that we're using to distract ourselves. Even music. I mean, people have got their little, earbuds in all the time, listen to constant noise to tune out themselves. Awakening takes you right into this. And the process that I've written a lot about it on spiritualawakeningprocess.com, which is my website, the process takes you into all this stuff. And at each level, you have to let go. And you let go a little bit more. Until ultimately, the process is just like as effortless as the breath. It's just the breathing in and out of life. Because that's where you settle down. After the initial awakening, there's kind of this frenetic energy. At least this was the way it was for me. It won't necessarily be that way for you. But it's like all the stuff that was stuck is moving now, right? And about over time, it goes into the gradual rhythm of life. Because that's natural part of life, is that we have our ups and we have our downs. The deeper awareness doesn't have a preference and doesn't try to control it. So it doesn't try to hide from the low moments, the contracted moments when we need more rest or we can't do as much. And it doesn't avoid, the higher energy moments where we're ready to do things and make things happen. It allows itself to move through those natural internal rhythms. So if anything, the spiritual awakening process is just taking you back to your natural internal rhythms. And after perhaps a rough transitional point, or perhaps not, you'll just come into that normal rhythm that is you. So these are some of my thoughts on the spiritual awakening process. And you can always find out more about what I'm talking about at spiritualawakeningprocess.com. Once again, my name is Jim Tolles, and I hope you're having a beautiful day.